Longlegs, directed by Perkins, whose previous directorial effort was 2020's Gretel and Hansel, depicts the hunt for a serial killer whose mysterious modus operandi involves compelling family patriarchs to unceremoniously slaughter their family before taking their own life. Brought into the hunt is promising young FBI agent Lee Harker, played by Maika Monroe, whose remarkable and possibly supernatural ability to capture criminals proves the turning point in this decades-long mystery. Matters are further complicated when it is suspected that Agent Harker may have a personal connection to the killer. Rounding out the cast is Blair Underwood as Harker's gruff superior, a family man who encourages Harker to crack the case. Alicia Witt as Harker's mother, a religious woman more concerned with her daughter's observance of prayer than her well-being, and Nicolas as the titular Longlegs who taunts the FBI with cryptic messages left behind at the crime scenes. Mood is the operative word for describing the film, and Perkins does a fantastic job creating mood in every scene. Whether it's the malevolent Longlegs killer prowling in the background of the shot, whilst the terrified Agent Harker searches for him in the foreground, or the fleeting demonic glimpses that flash by a la Tyler Durden in Fight Club, Perkins ensures the audience can never rest easy as the horror unfolds. Where Perkins falters is in his treatment of the titular villain. Much has been made of the advertising campaign for the film and how it builds anticipation for the eventual reveal of Cage's killer. And Perkins builds this anticipation with the fantastic opening sequence where he cuts away from the reveal just as Cage's face is about to come into frame. That is until he is unceremoniously unveiled a third of the way into the film with little fanfare. Perkins then doubles down on the exposure by having Longlegs pop up in increasing intervals, diluting the fear with each appearance. It is a deflating misstep which doesn't deliver on the promise of the marketing. But what of the portrayal itself? Whether or not an audience member is going to enjoy Cage's performance will depend largely on their opinion of Cage as an actor, because despite the heavy makeup employed to help him disappear into the role, all those infamous Cageisms are on full display here. He goes from meditative malevolence to screaming insanity in an instant, and the result is a love it or loathe it depiction. The issue being that it detracts from the mood of the film, as you're never sure whether you should be scared or humoured by Longlegs. A more subtle turn here would have raised heartbeats and not eyebrows. One actor who got the memo on mood was Maika Monroe as Agent Harker. This is an understated performance which mirrors the emotion of the audience. Whether it's her panting fear when searching her home for the Longlegs killer, or her calculating expression when deciphering his cryptic clues, Monroe's performance is grounded in realism and serves as a much-needed counterpoint to Cage's mania. Whilst much will be made of Perkins' direction and Cage's performance, the true heroes of this horror flick are the Foley artists. The film's soundscape is filled with crunching gravel, booming door knocks and explosive gunshots, each element compounding the horror. So successful are these auditory auteurs that even off-screen murder has a profoundly vivid impact. The sound design also plays a part in the evocations of the film. Whether it's the screeching cacophony that accompanies terrifying reveals or the low drones that delineate dread, every possible ounce of terror is squeezed from each sequence through its sound. The set dressing and design also deserve acknowledgement here, as each location has a unique composition that elevates the consternation. From the cluttered home of Harker's hoarder mother to the isolated wooden cabin the protagonist calls home, every environment is oppressive in its configuration. It's a subtle aspect of the film that deserves recognition for its role in heightening the horror. Where the film fails, however, is in its script. Is it a police procedural, a supernatural horror, or a straight-up thriller? The truth is that it tries its hand at all three and the film suffers as a result. The driving mystery of the movie is the answer to the question, How is the Longlegs killer managing to convince the patriarchs of each house to dispatch their families and then themselves? This is a captivating conceit and draws the audience in. All tension is dispelled, however, the moment the supernatural element is introduced. At this point, every compelling question can be explained away with witchcraft, ensuring the ending does not deliver on the engrossing opening. I wanted to love Longlegs. The stellar marketing campaign elevated this film to the top of my must-watch list, and I went in expecting this generation's Seven. Though expectation can be the killer of satisfaction, I feel the problems of the film's plot outweigh the problems of anticipation. Supernatural cinema has provided some horror gems in the past. The Witch, The Shining, and The Others are some of my favourite films of the genre. My issue here is that the supernatural bent is equivalent to the "it was all a dream" trope we so rightly ridicule. It provides an easy out for the difficult questions the film poses. I can't help but wonder what the movie might have been if they had torpedoed the supernatural element entirely and attempted to resolve the Longlegs mystery without it. Alas, that's not the plot we got. I also found myself laughing at Cage's quirks rather than recoiling from them. I'm certain the internet forums will be awash with commentary on his award's worthiness, but I found his performance a continuation of the manic expressionism of Face Off and Vampire's Kiss, rather than a revelatory turn. This is not to say I don't appreciate Cage in those roles. I love some crazy Cage as much as the next person. I just prefer the subdued performances of Lord of War, Pig, and Dream Scenario, and felt perhaps a subtle performance here could have made the character of Longlegs more menacing and less cartoonish. All this being said, there are elements of the film I thoroughly enjoyed. Monroe's performance as the awkward FBI agent made for compelling viewing, and Oz Perkins' direction exploits every scene for maximum horror. Furthermore, the sound and cinematography are lessons in effectively creating atmosphere in film and should be commended for what they achieve. In all, I found Longlegs to be a disappointing experience with some commendable qualities that make for a frustrated viewing experience. Your appreciation for this film will largely depend on your acceptance of its supernatural elements. If you enjoy movies with a devilish inclination, then you will no doubt enjoy watching the film's central mystery unfold. However, if you like your detective stories grounded firmly in reality, you might find Longlegs lacking. If you've seen Longlegs, please comment below and let me know what you thought of the film. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to help this channel grow.